Taylor Allison Swift was born on December 13, 1989, in Reading, Pennsylvania, and raised in Wyoming on a Christmas tree farm. Her parents, Scott and Andrea, noticed early on that she had a fascination with music and storytelling. Influenced by artists like Shania Twain and Faith Hill, Taylor developed a love for country music and started writing songs as a child. She began performing at local events, and by the age of 11 she had traveled to Nashville with a demo tape, hoping to secure a record deal. Every label rejected her, but her determination only grew stronger. Recognizing her potential, her family moved to Hendersonville, Tennessee, near Nashville, to give her the best chance to pursue her dream. There she began writing prolifically, learned guitar, and honed her stage presence. At just 14, she signed a publishing deal with Sony/ATV, becoming the youngest songwriter in their roster, but her true goal was to perform her own music. Her big break came when Scott Borchetta, who was launching Big Machine Records, signed her as one of the label's first artists. In 2006, Taylor released her debut album, which produced hits like Tim McGraw and Teardrops on My Guitar. Her ability to tell stories through song connected with a wide audience, and her self-titled album went multi-platinum, establishing her as a rising star. With her curly blonde hair, cowboy boots, and heartfelt lyrics, she quickly became the voice of teenage country fans. She wasn't just an artist, she was relatable, approachable, and deeply connected to her fan base, often using MySpace to personally interact with listeners. Her second album, Fearless, released in 2008, pushed her to international superstardom. Featuring songs like Love Story and You Belong With Me, it bridged country and pop, appealing to a broader audience. The album became the best-selling of 2009 in the U.S. and earned her 4 Grammys, including Album of the Year, making her the youngest artist at that time to win the honor. However, her newfound fame also introduced her to public scrutiny. At the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards, Kanye West infamously interrupted her acceptance speech, a moment that became a defining pop culture controversy. Still, Taylor handled it with grace and continued to rise. By 2010, she released Speak Now, an album written entirely by herself, further proving her songwriting skill. Songs like Mine, Back to December, and Enchanted reflected deeper, more mature themes. The album sold over 1 million copies in its first week. She became known for transforming her personal experiences into universal anthems, a strength that drew both admiration and criticism, as tabloids dissected her lyrics for clues about her relationships. In 2012, she released Red, which marked her transition into pop territory. Tracks like We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together and I Knew You Were Trouble showcased her versatility, while All Too Well became a fan favorite for its raw. 2014, Taylor took a bold step by releasing 1989, her first official pop album, inspired by the sounds of the 1980s. It was a complete reinvention that distanced her from her country roots and firmly planted her in global pop stardom. With singles like Shake It Off, Blank Space, Style, and Wildest Dreams, the album dominated charts worldwide. 1989 sold over 1 million copies in its first week, and it won the Grammy for Album of the Year, making Taylor the first woman to win the category twice. She also became known for her cinematic music videos, which were filled with symbolism, Easter eggs, and cameos from her circle of famous friends. This era was marked by her carefully crafted public image, which included her so-called squad of models, actresses, and fellow musicians, a reflection of her newfound dominance in both music and pop culture. Despite the glittering success of 1989, Taylor also faced criticism. Some accused her of being overly calculated, and her very public feuds with other celebrities, including Kanye West and Katy Perry, placed her in the middle of media firestorms. The release of Kanye's song, Famous, in 2016, in which he claimed credit for her fame, reignited tensions and sparked a wave of online harassment toward her. Taylor retreated from the spotlight, disappearing from public view for nearly a year, a move that fueled endless speculation. When she returned in 2017 with Reputation, it was with a darker, edgier persona. The lead single, Look What You Made Me Do, made headlines with its biting lyrics and a video in which Taylor declared the bold Taylor dead. The album explored themes of betrayal, revenge, and resilience, reflecting both her personal battles and her reassertion of control over her narrative. While some critics were divided, the album was commercially successful, selling millions worldwide and launching a massive stadium tour that became one of the highest-grossing in U.S. history. This era marked her ability to rise from public scrutiny and reclaim her power, embracing the villain role the media had assigned her and turning it into art. In 2019, Taylor shifted again with the release of Lover, an album filled with brighter, more romantic themes. It was her first album after leaving Big Machine Records, and it symbolized a new chapter both professionally and personally. Songs like Me, You Need to Calm Down, and the title track showed her softer, more hopeful side. Around this time, she became increasingly vocal about artists' rights, after a very public battle over the ownership of her masters with Scooter Braun and Big Machine. Taylor announced she would re-record her earlier albums to reclaim her work, a groundbreaking move that challenged industry norms and inspired artists worldwide to fight for control over their music. By the end of the 2010s, Taylor Swift had established herself as far more than a singer-songwriter. She was a cultural force, a businesswoman. In 2020, as the world faced the uncertainty of the COVID-19 pandemic, Taylor Swift surprised fans with an unexpected creative turn. She released Folklore, a dreamy, indie-inspired album that leaned into storytelling rather than radio hits. Collaborating with Aaron Dessner of The National and longtime partner Jack Antonoff, she crafted a collection of songs filled with characters, narratives, and intimate emotions. Tracks like Cardigan, Exile, and August showcased her evolution as a songwriter, moving beyond autobiographical tales into imaginative storytelling. Folklore was hailed by critics as one of her best works and went on to win the Grammy for Album of the Year, making Taylor the first woman to win that category 3 times. Just months later, she released a sister album, Evermore, further cementing her artistic versatility. These albums marked a major shift in how Taylor was perceived. No longer was she just a pop star. She was now respected as one of the finest songwriters of her generation. She stripped away the spectacle and delivered music that resonated in a time of isolation and reflection. Fans and critics alike praised her maturity, and her ability to adapt to new sounds kept her at the center of music culture even in an era when touring was impossible. In 2021, she embarked on the ambitious project of re-recording her earlier albums, beginning with Fearless, Taylor's version, and later Red, Taylor's version. The re-releases not only gave her control over her masters but also reignited excitement around her old songs. The release of the 10-minute version of All Too Well became a cultural phenomenon, accompanied by a short film she directed, showcasing her growth not only as a musician but also as a storyteller and filmmaker. Her decision to reclaim her work resonated deeply with fans and became a landmark moment in the music industry, sparking conversations about artist rights and ownership. In 2022, Taylor returned to pop with Midnights, an album exploring themes of anxiety, fame, love, and self-reflection. Songs like Anti-Hero and Lavender Haze became instant hits, with Anti-Hero topping charts worldwide. Midnights further solidified her dominance in the streaming era, breaking records across platforms. Her ability to remain relevant after more than 15 years in the industry was a testament to her reinvention and artistry. The following year, she embarked on her most ambitious tour yet, the Eras Tour. Designed as a journey through her musical eras, the tour became a global phenomenon, selling out stadiums and grossing billions, making it one of the most successful tours in history. Fans traveled from across the world to witness the spectacle, and each concert became a cultural event. The tour not only celebrated her discography but also showcased her unmatched stage presence and connection with her audience. Her concerts became symbols of joy and togetherness, a reminder of music's power to unite people.